Welcome back, guys. It's Kelly from Keeping Money Jazzy, and I am here today with a special type of video, as you see by the title. Yes, it is Battle of the Budgets with Tanisha Davis and Rochelle Adamson, battling to see who I will choose for my budget for the month of April. Thank you guys for joining me. And first, I would like to say I am in a new environment, so please forgive the lighting. I'm not at home. And also, I would like to say I am new to doing these reaction videos, so if it looks a little weird or anything like that, forgive me. Just continue to watch and enjoy anyway. But before we get into my reaction, I would like for you guys to head on over to Tanisha Davis, the Fun and Budget Act, to review what she did with my budget. And then head on over to Rochelle Adamson to see what she did with the budget and how it was broken down. So, without further ado, let's get started with Rochelle's budget first.
The month of April 2021, y'all. Our girl Kelly, KMJS Financials, here on YouTube. She just started out on her YouTube journey a few months ago. Shout out to her for turning in her budget and submitting it to Tanisha Davis and I. That's right, Tanisha. Or Tanisha, wherever she at, so that we can have some fun with a different budget, because it gets real old looking at your same numbers all the time. And maybe you're someone who has a budget, and maybe you are looking for a different viewpoint. Maybe you would like to try something new with your budget. I encourage you, turn it in, submit it. We are easily accessible on Instagram, email, all that good stuff. Turn it in to us and we will pick our budget of the month from our pile of budget submissions that we get, and maybe you can get in on the fun too and win with your money even quicker. I like to bring a perspective for those who use cash. Tanisha tends to budget with a cashless system, versus me, I tend to include cash options with your budget. So let's dive right into her budget and see what I would do. I've created a mock budget inside of every dollar. The app is free, y'all. Use it. And let's see what we would do. Now, it's the perfect month for Kelly to submit her budget to us because it's a magic month. She gets an extra paycheck this month, so not one, not two, but 3 paychecks will be happening for the month of April. And so she is expecting a total income of $3,450. So that's what I'm going to work with. Now, before I look at the numbers, I always look at the person. I always ask everyone to please turn in your goals. What are your dreams? What are your aspirations? What do you want to accomplish in life with your money? And what do you want to accomplish without money? So let's talk about it. First off, she would love to pay off all of her student loans in the next 3 years. So that means by 2024, she would like to be student loan free. I'm here for it. Next, she would love to save $6,000 in an emergency fund to cover, I believe it's 3 months worth of expenses. And that's crucial right there. So I'm definitely on board. Next up, she would like to include a self-care in her budget. She does not really do anything for herself. That's fun. And guys, I really mean this with all my energy. Self-care all 2021. A lot of times, all of us are focused on helping others and making sure everyone else is okay, making sure bills are paid. But if you keep pouring from an empty cup, you are going to break, literally. I don't make the rules. Let's talk about savings. Okay. Because she does have this goal of saving $6,000. If it were me, I would put at least $500 towards her emergency fund.
Okay,
now the reason I would do that is because, first of all, I'm not really sure how much money she has in her emergency fund, but the fact that she says she wants to save $6,000 in this calendar year means that we need to really add to it as quickly as possible, since we're already going to be the 4 months in. So yeah. I would definitely add $500 to that fund. Next is house maintenance. This is a category I would add $100 to, and that's because I looked at her Instagram and I saw that she got hit with Murphy's Law, and she had some car trouble and an issue with her house at the same time. And I can't tell you how much that resonated with me. $100 toward house maintenance. Next is car maintenance. Since she had something wrong with both, you see where I'm going with this. $150 towards car maintenance. Hopefully that will cover an oil change, a flat tire, something minor that has to be done that's around about $100. Anything more than that, we'll just hope for the best. Last savings account or savings bucket that I would add to is travel. I watched her latest video, budget burnout video. As a travel agent that has been affected by this pandemic and is not booking travel at this time, it resonates with me. Budgeting and travel it does this for me. So I would add $300 to her travel fund. That is just enough money to find a good round trip ticket. That's right, I'm good like that, honey. Hit me up, I will help you.
I sure will.
You would have enough to fly somewhere. I'm not going to promise international, but it is on the table where you could feel like you are getting away, you are traveling, you are creating a new experience for yourself. You are getting into somewhere where you don't have to think about work for a couple of days. So gifts. Gifts is another bucket that she had listed on her budget. And for this, at this time, I would not be so worried about it because it's hard to, like I said, it's hard to pour from an empty cup. And it sounds like it's more important at this point in your life for you to focus on spending some money on yourself. And everybody else, they're just going to have to understand. Put $10 in the gift category for the month of April. May, it could be more. June, it could be more. But for this month, it's Kelly's month. Next, moving on. Housing and utilities. This is the category where I would love for you to make some progress. Let me explain what I mean. First up, her mortgage. Kelly's mortgage is $1,019 per month. Huge chunk of her income. And right off top, ideas that are flowing through my mind. Is it possible to refinance? Does it make sense to refinance? Is it possible for you to refinance and get a lower payment? Feels high, and I don't know what state you live in, so let me also mind my business. Tell me to mind my business, Rochelle. But I think that you could definitely be doing getting it at least under 1,000, especially since we're in a pandemic. More about this in her video, but she up is your cell phone bill, which is $92. It feels high. I don't know if you are also paying off your phone with that phone bill, but definitely look into options.
So that $92 for my cell phone, it actually covers, it's just one cell phone. I do not owe anything on my phone. And I am enrolled in auto pay for $5 that's taken off. But what is making it so high is the protection plan that I have on my phone. And I think I will be looking to take that off, and because that'll be like $20 less.
Home security, which comes to $142.14. Like I said, this is the category that I would definitely look a little more closely at. Internet for sure. Your home security is through that internet company, so that's probably a combo rate. But just next up is gas and electric, which is estimated to be about $150. Again, I'm not sure about the size of your home, but if that's, I encourage you to go on the website of the electric company that you use and look at, they usually will have a section where they show averages for your neighborhood or your zip code or your state, and just make sure that you're falling in line with the average, that you're not spending way more than your average neighbor, because okay, so that's the housing / utilities.
All right, so as far as my gas and electric, again, I live in Maryland, so during the winter months my bill averages about, the maximum has been around $150. I don't like to be cold, y'all, not at all. But so that's, I usually turn my heat on around November, December, all the way up to like March. So the spring, the summer, and the fall, my bill is between $30 to $50, if that, because I don't use much air because I'm always cold. But my bill is that high only during the winter.
Category, y'all. Feel like I spent a lot of time in that. We're good. We're good now. Next up, car insurance. She pays her car insurance semi-annually. You go, girl. You go. And so she puts $100 to the side every month to be able to afford to pay it in full when it comes around. So we're going to do that. Next up is life insurance. Life insurance comes to $30.02. Gonna do that. Next category is subscriptions. Subscriptions are very, very low. You go, girl. Google storage $2.99, iCloud storage $1.99, Netflix $8.99, Hulu $11.99. Next is let's see what one we'll do next. We'll do the variables. Variables are everything else that you end up spending money on. So groceries, I kept very low at $100 just to challenge you to really dive into your pantry and your freezer and see if there's any way you could squeeze some extra meals out of things that you already have at home.
I can do that.
That's kind of, I know that feels cheap and that feels like, but she averages between $100 and $150 a month. So it's not which is for one person to eat off of, which is amazing, girl. I could be taking some notes from you. And maybe you should do a grocery haul for us on your channel. Next up is eating out. I trimmed that down to $40. Like I said, we're just trying new things. These are all numbers that you can adjust. And maybe you don't choose my budget just because of how low I kept your food budget. But next up is gas. Gas is getting $50. Household $20. Spending / miscellaneous money is getting $20. And the new bucket category that we are going to include is called, you know it, self-care. Self-care.
Yes. Oh my
it's
goodness,
getting $100 because we don't know when we're going to have extra money again in the future to put in this bucket, in this category. And so it's better to, when you have it, use it. And by doing that, we are checking the second box of your goals checklist. Guys, yes, we live in Hawaii now. Yes, we travel to Mexico now, but that was not always our story. Travel for us used to be going to Ocean City, Maryland, and my people from B-More, DMV area, you guys know what I'm talking about. And guess what? We would have the best time. Travel for us used to be Massanutten, and anybody who lives in the DMV area will also know where that is. And so what I'm saying is, Megan says this a lot in her video, her Courage to Plan. Start where you are. And I really subscribe to that because you don't want to compare your journey to someone else's. And a lot of times the trips that I've went on over the years, I've ended up having more fun on those budget-friendly trips than those ones that broke the bank. So, okay. So, last category is the debt. You know, that's what we're here for, okay? So she has student loans that she normally pays $226 a month for, but forbearance. So she's currently not paying the minimum amounts. She's in her videos doing Fed Loans Friday, hashtag Fed Loans Friday, which is something that Asia Sierra Budgets created, where there's a large movement of people who are paying off debt and making payments every week, every Friday. And I love that she is taking part in that journey and reminding herself that she is in a community of people who have like-minded goals. So
I am, definitely.
Because I subscribe to Fed Loans Friday, I don't have any Fed loans, but I love watching y'all pay it off with the quickness. I would suggest that you put $457.89 toward Fed Loans Friday. Hey.
Love it.
Oh, I gotta do the song. Fed Loans Friday. Fed Loans Friday. Fed Loans Friday. My phone wouldn't let me be great. Asia, how I do. Anyway, that's an every dollar budget. That's what I would do with your money, Kelly. I can't wait to see which budget you choose. And
she did a really, really good job. Thank you so much, Rochelle. I really enjoyed the fact that you gave me my emergency fund, self-care, and travel. You were on point. I enjoyed that. So now we're going to head on over to Tanisha's budget.
Okay, let's take a look. Now, Kelly submitted her budget to us, and she says that she makes on average $2,200 a month. So that is the first number that I'm going to plug in.
Okay.
Now, I repay to see how her month will look typically if it was just a normal 2-paycheck month, okay? And so out of her $2,200, what we're going to do is her mortgage is actually $1,019, but she sends a little bit extra. So she does $1,030 to her mortgage, okay? I am using the Every Dollar app, and if you take a look over here in this left-hand corner, this is always going to tell us what we have left to budget. So right now we have $1,170 left to budget. And then also we see that her mortgage already, nothing else filled in, is taking up 47% of her budget, almost half. So what can we do to remedy this situation? Because this is a mortgage, it's not an apartment. She's not renting, so we can't say, Kelly girl, just move, okay? It's not that simple. And I would never say something as drastic as sell the house, because we already know that to sell a home and to move and find a new home, that comes with a lot of expenses that has to be packed in. The other thing that we can do is start looking at what can we do to bring in more income. So I would keep that at the back of my mind, the back of my thoughts, to say, what can I do to increase my income so that my mortgage, just my mortgage alone, is not eating up half of what I bring in every single month, okay? And then she has home warranty of $43. And then her internet and security system is all together, and that is going to be $142. Cell phone is $92, and electricity comes in on average about $150. You guys know how that goes. It's give or take when it comes to our utility bills. And let's scroll down some. We have our car insurance, and Kelly pays her car in 6-month premiums. And so what she does is she puts away $100 a month so that when her bill is due at the 6-month mark, the money is there. So we're going to set aside $100 for that. And then life insurance is $30. Now let's take a look. These are the fixed expenses, guys. So let's take a look at where we are now. Already with just our fixed expenses, we spent 72%. Last year, she achieved some amazing financial victories, okay? And that right there is something to celebrate. But what I believe happened is, homegirl, you never took some time to celebrate these wins. And the other thing I'm going to say, because when we look at your income of $2,200 a month, is it's okay to slow down. You're 72% already gone on just the month-to-month bills. I know that we're running a tight race right here. We are running a tight race. Let's look at some more. All right, $150. Eating out is going to be about $50 a month. Gas for the car is going to be about $60 a month. Household needs are going to be about $30 a month. And house maintenance is going to be about $20 a month. Now, I know that house maintenance is a sinking fund. So house maintenance is something that she's kind of putting away so that if something pops up that the house needs, something bigger outside of toiletries and things like that, she has some money set aside to kind of handle that. She gives herself about $40 a month for spending money. Ha ha ha. Financial burnout. See what I'm saying? All of this money that you're bringing in, and you only give yourself $40 to enjoy.
I do.
She also sets aside $40 a month in gifts. This right here tells me, Kelly, that you are someone who puts everything and everyone else before yourself. Because when you're giving gifts of $40 a month, and then you only give the gift to yourself of $40 a month, that is not balance. That is not balance. And subscriptions, okay? We have $3 a month for Google storage, and then there's $2 a month for iCloud storage. Netflix is $8 a month. Nope, correction, $9 a month. And then there's Hulu for $12 a month. Kelly does not have a cable service. And so now this leaves us with $197 left to allocate. And so we see that subscription services only taking up 1% of her income. And then her variable expenses are 18% of her income. Now, I'm going to ask you this, Kelly. I know that when we go back up top and we look at these fixed expenses, because I was thinking, like, how can we get this lower? But honestly, I really think that you're doing a good job with these things, and I don't see a way of lowering any of these. The prices aren't bad, what you're paying. Outside of the mortgage is a big chunk. It really is. But again, we're just gonna have to try to bring in some more income. With the home warranty, I want to ask you about the home warranty. What I want to ask you is, have you used it in the past? How did that look? What did you have replaced? What was the cost that came out of your pocket for replacing those things? If you can talk to us a little more about your home warranty experience, what do you get for the $43 a month? And what have you actually used in the $43 per month? How long have you been having this? Like $43 a month for how long? For 3 years, for 2 years, for 5 years? How much did that add up to? Like, let's look at those numbers. Let's dig a little deeper there.
All right, guys, so as far as the home warranty, now I purchased my home in 2018, and for the first year, the previous homeowners actually they paid for the home warranty, because when I got my home inspection, the hot water tank was really, really old, like 1990s. So in case it burst, they covered it for a year. So I actually started it in 2019 up until now, and no, I have not had to use it at all. And it covers electrical issues, it covers any plumbing issues, it covers appliances. It does not cover like washer and dryer or roof or anything like that, any major thing like that. But my question to you, Tanisha, is, being as though I have never used it, would you keep it, or would you let it go and just pay out of pocket for any repairs or any appliances or whatever that might happen in the home?
Now, if we scroll back down, we're going to talk about money goals. Now, Kelly is fairly debt-free. Woo-hoo-hoo. In 2020, she got out of her consumer debt. That is awesome. Paid off them credit cards. And this year, she has the goals of tackling her student loans. You can chew, don't bite off more than you have to, okay? What I do know for sure is you already have over $1,000 saved up in savings. You may not call it an emergency fund. Actually, I know you don't call it an emergency fund. I know that you have a rainy day fund that you already have $1,000 saved up for. Guess what? Rainy day, I don't care. I will rename that emergency fund. Whatever you have in a rainy day fund will now be moved. What I would do, move it to your emergency. And whatever you have saved there, call it all one thing. See, this is the thing. There's a power in names. There's a certain freedom in a name. This is why I tell everybody I'm not a big fan of sinking funds and cash envelopes and all of that. Because what happens is you're diluting your power. You're diluting your power. When I tell you I have $20 in this envelope, I have $30 in that envelope, I have $12 in that envelope, it doesn't sound as powerful as just saying I have $50. I have $50. So what I also want to know from you is, with the different funds that you have saved up, between your emergency fund, your rainy day fund, and then the other sinking funds that you have, whether it be your fund for your insurance, for your auto insurance, the fund for your home maintenance, all of that stuff. I want to know, when you add all of that up, how much is it? How much? Let's celebrate that number.
So with everything added up, Tanisha is funny. I had my emergency fund and my rainy day separate, because I looked at my emergency fund as a lose my job money, and my rainy day was for everything else, any small expenses, unexpected expenses, anything for the car, that I don't have enough in car maintenance, anything for my house. So that's why they were separate. But When I bring them all together, I am more than halfway to my $6,000 goal. So I'm not giving the exact number. As you all know, I don't share my emergency fund number. Just know that it is good and I'm over halfway to that $6,000 mark. So she's right. It actually is good.
Two, you say that typically you try to set a goal for your student loans of paying $226 a month. So let's put that in there. When I put in the $226, I am now over budget. I'm $29 over budget. So what I would have to do is go up in here and see where can I make some adjustments. And we already know where we can make some adjustments because you did tell us that with food, you do between $100 and $150. So if I take out this $150, then that leaves me $121. Now, we have an every dollar budget. But for me, this budget will leave us to being burnt out because we're going to have to do a lot of moving around throughout the month because we all know that a month does not operate this cleanly. It doesn't operate this cleanly. Things always pop up. Things always pop up, and you're not giving yourself enough wiggle room to move with ease and grace. And you're not giving yourself any room to play. So what I would do is I would take away the gifts. And okay, let's make it $10 a month. And what's $10 a month, you ask? You say, well, you know what can I do with $10 a month? $10 a month will buy you a birthday card. Guess what? Now for birthdays and things like that, you guys get a card. So then that gives me $30 left in my budget, and I'm gonna put that $30 in spending. So we're gonna move that to $70, okay? Now, with the $70, right now, with this budget as it looks without bringing in more income, I'm gonna say what we get to do with this is just kind of leave it. We can spend it as we need it or as things pop up. We're good, but we're gonna try not to spend it just in case things happen throughout the month. And the way I would play this game is at the end of the month. Whatever I have left in that $70, I get to splurge any way I want. That's my girl. You made it through the month. Go and treat yourself to something. Whether it's getting your nails done, whether it's getting your hair done, whether it's just saying right now I'm going to hold it and let it build up momentum for the next month so that I can get something even bigger. If I want to go to the movies, if I just want to buy myself something, that's how I would play that game. Think of it all as a game, okay? But what we also know is this. With this, you had nothing left over to contribute more money to an emergency fund. And I'm only bringing this up because I know that you have goals for 2021. Your goals for 2021 is you want to have at least $6,000 saved up in your emergency fund. I don't think it's necessary. Not right now. $6,000 would be equivalent to a 3-month emergency fund. I don't think it's necessary because I don't feel like you should have to straddle between trying to meet two huge financial goals. And the two huge financial goals are the $6,000 in emergency fund, which you already have a good $2,000 or more in an emergency fund if we rename it. Again, rename it. What I'm saying to rename it. And then also you want to pay a good $7,000 off of your student loans, right? Question. When you came up with your goals for the year, how did you come up with those goals? Did you just pull out numbers that you thought sounded good, or did you actually take a look at what you could actually realistically pull off and make that a goal? That's my question. I'm really curious to know how you came up with the $6,000 of doing the $6,000. Now I understand the $6,000 equals 3 months of an emergency fund, but how did you come up with I can accomplish this in the 1 year? And how did you come up with I can accomplish paying off $7,000 of debt in 1 year? People are coming.
Okay, so Tanisha, as far as the goals that I made for this year, the way that I came about them was, as far as the debt, I had 6 loans and I paid off 1 last year. But for 2021, I wanted to pay off two more, which would have been $2,700 and one that was $4,200. So that's where that $7,000 came from. I wanted to pay those 2 off And I felt like if I can do that, I can reach my goal to be debt free by middle of 2023. As far as the $6,000 emergency fund, that is the overall total that I want to have in my emergency fund. That was not for me to complete the whole 6,000 in 2021, and I should have made that more specific when I did the video. But the way that I did that was I looked at my rainy day fund. I did not look at my emergency fund at all. I looked only at my rainy day fund because, as you know, that's what I was basing everything off of. And I had the $1,000 in there. So I told myself, okay, if I do the 100 envelope challenge and the total income, the total savings at the end of the year would be like $5,000 plus. So I was going to use that for the $5,000 that adds to the $1,000. But as I stated before, now that I'm combining everything, I don't need nowhere near that much to reach my $6,000 goal. So that's where those goals came from. And also, yes, I looked at it as I was going to bring in extra money, bonuses, taxes, and things like that. I was going to put towards the debt payment and the saving for the emergency fund.
In the house, I would feel no kinds of way about lowering those goals. And then if you hit them, great. But if you don't hit them, the great thing is you won't feel bad, boo. You won't feel bad. Okay, but we already talked about something earlier in this video. We talked about that this is actually a 3 paycheck month for Kelly. And her third paycheck is going to be $1,250. But this is an extra paycheck. So the reason why I want to do her normal paycheck first is because I didn't want to get comfortable in looking at numbers that aren't going to be there every single month. Now that we have the $1,250, most of us get at least 3 paychecks twice a year. Everything else is a 2 paycheck month, okay? But with this third paycheck, this gives us a little more wiggle room. Now, what we get to do with this third paycheck is either we get to treat ourselves to something a little better than we normally would, or we get to really make some headway and make some movement on those big financial goals that we have. And so those are the 3 things I'm going to concentrate on with Kelly right now. So what I'm going to do with this extra moolah is give her some more money for spending. We're gonna add another $200, so that gives you $270 in the month of April to do something for you. To do something for you. This is the thing I'm gonna say. We're gonna go down here to these goals. I'm gonna say $400 for the emergency fund, also known as the wonderful savings account. Okay.
All right.
And so again, this is just gonna beef it up, and this is just gonna move us closer to that goal, because again, I'm not here to take away anybody's goals. So if your goal at the end of the month is $6,000, I say we can call that a wonderful stretch goal. That way, even if we don't necessarily meet it, it's okay. But if we do meet it and exceed it, awesome. So we're gonna put that in there as a seed toward meeting and exceeding that wonderful goal, okay? And then the next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the remaining $650 towards student loans.
What?
How do I figure out $650? I just take away that $226, and I see that I have $876.
Okay.
So we're gonna say actually, before we say $876 to student loans, let's go ahead and move the food back up. Let's go ahead and move the groceries back up to $150. And then this leaves us with $847.
Okay.
And so then I'm going to say, let's go ahead and do $847 for student loans. And just like a lot of people, Kelly's student loans are in forbearance right now. So the way I would play this is this order that I have it in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would go ahead and spend my personal money, that $270, that's yours, right?
Okay.
And then what I would do is at the end of the month, at the end of the month is when I will go ahead and put that stamp of approval on the $400 to emergency fund and that stamp of approval to that full $847 to student loans. And I say I would do that last because my strategy would be that if I have anything that pops up through the month, any emergencies, anything that kind of, might have went a little over than I anticipated, it will come from this. And in that way, you don't have to get too stressed out and you don't have to take away from yourself.
All right, guys, here is the moment of truth. Who did I choose? Tanisha budget or Rochelle budget? Now, before I make my decision, I would like to say thank you to the both of them, Tanisha and Rochelle, for taking the time to break down my budget the way that you guys did. And of course, there are a lot of similarities as usual with your thinking in the way that you gave me things in the budget. So I thank you guys for all the kind words and the encouragement. But what I liked about Rochelle's budget was that she gave me so much. She gave me an emergency fund, a travel fund, a self-care fund, and I really liked that. And she gave me she did cut costs on my variable expenses, which is fine. That's fine with that. But I like that she incorporated the really main important things that I wanted, and she gave me a nice amount for my emergency fund. So thank you, Rochelle girl. You hit it on the nose with that travel fund. That was dear to my heart. Thank you. And the self-care. Now for Tanisha, what I liked about her budget was that I liked the fact that she broke my budget down first with my original 2 paychecks. I like that she did that. And also I like the fact that she gave me $270 for my spending money, which is spending money / self-care, which I like that. That was good. And I also liked about her budget was that she gave me an $847 debt payment for the month, and that will surpass what I was going to put for this month. So I don't know, guys. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It was a true battle. Further ado, who I chose was Tanisha at the Fun and Budget Act. Thank you, Tanisha. You have won. And I chose your budget because of the large debt payment. But with that being said, I will be taking at least one line item from Rochelle's budget, and that's that travel budget. And the way that I'm going to do that is, being as though I don't need much for my emergency fund, that emergency fund of $400 that Tanisha gave me, I will be taking that and putting that into my travel fund, because I do have a mini getaway coming up soon, so I will need some money for that. So thank you again, ladies. You did a great job, a wonderful job, and I hope you guys watched all the way to the end to see my reaction. And thanks for watching. Just give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and head on over to their channels because they have amazing content. You will learn something from the both of them from every video. So I will see you guys soon, and we will see how April turns out. See you soon.